ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all having a great and wonderful day, and hopefully your dinner is good. Well, guys, I thought that I was going to be going free, right? I thought that I was going to be done with news. I did a lot of news today, but I have one more article to give you, one more bit of news. JMO reports. He thought he was done, but now the reports has to come back and give you the last bit of news I just hit, because this was huge. So what we have this here with Donald Trump, we have this with a grand jury has returned a superseding indictment against Donald Trump in Washington, D.C., retaining the same four core charges against him trying to subvert the election. The Hill says here that Smith files new indictment in Trump January 6 case, adjusting for immunity decision. Special counsel Jack Smith filed a superseding indictment in his case, indicting former President Trump for his actions, seeking to subvert the 2020 election, retaining the same charges but striking some elements of the case in the wake of the Supreme Court's immunity ruling. Goes on to say here that the Tuesday filing comes after Smith presented the case against the former president to a second grand jury, which had not previously heard the matter. It likewise concluded charges were warranted against the president. So again, what we have here, guys, obviously is this is the big one. It says against the former president to a second grand jury, which had not previously heard the matter. So they haven't even heard anything about this or what have you. So that's another red flag that I have here. Why this case is just going to be dead in the water, because it all sounds stupid. It goes on to say here, the superseding indictment is an effort by the special counsel to respond to a ruling earlier this summer by the Supreme Court, which held that Trump and other former executives retain broad immunity for core actions they took as president and are presumptively immune for other actions taken while in office. So, again, it seems that this is still ongoing, and we have this here with CNN saying special counsel files reworked indictment against Donald Trump in January 6 case. Prosecutors have not dropped any of the four charges that they initially brought against the former president. However, the newly retooled indictment has carved out some of Trump's alleged conduct, including allegations about the attempts to use the Justice Department to promote his false claims of election fraud. And all that great stuff, right? So that's what's going on here. Now, what we have this from Fox News, pretty much saying this: Trump indicted a second time in an election subversion case brought by special counsel Jack Smith. Goes on to say that the new indictment keeps the prior criminal charges but narrows and reframes the allegations against the Republican presidential nominee after the Supreme Court ruling that conferred broad immunity on former presidents. So that's what's going on there. It says specifically the indictment has been charged to remove allegations involving Department of Justice officials and other government officials. It clarifies Trump's role as candidate and makes clear the allegations regarding his conversations with then Vice President Mike Pence and his ceremonial role as president of the Senate. And of course, we have this here at the very ending of all of this. It says, sources familiar with the matter tell Fox News that discussions surrounding the superseding indictment will likely not speed things up, and it is unlikely it will go to trial before the November election. So it probably won't even go to trial. It seems like this is just a nothing burger at best, because after the election, there's only two scenarios that are going to happen. Trump either doesn't win and he gets jailed and all other stuff, or he wins the election and gets rid of it and stuff like that. So again, it's just like this is just like kind of cover for a bigger story that you guys kind of have to go over, right? What we have here is that this is from Good Logic, saying they are still trying to use 18 U.S.C. 1512C, even though it was specifically knocked out by SCOTUS 2 months ago and U.S. v. Fisher. Jack Smith is really bad at this. So, yeah, they're just redoing the thing, and just, that was knocked out not that long ago. They're still using it. So, again, this is a big thing. Now, what we have here now, though, is something with this. Clarence Thomas goes after Jack Smith in Supreme Court ruling, and he says, if this unprecedented prosecution is to proceed, it must be conducted by someone duly authorized to do so by the American people. The lower court should thus answer these essential questions concerning the special counsel's appointment before proceeding, Thomas added. He goes on to say here that few things would threaten our constitutional order more than criminally prosecuting a former president for his official acts. Fortunately, the Constitution does not permit us to chart such a dangerous course, he wrote before focusing on Smith's appointment. I write separately to highlight another way in which this prosecution may violate our constitutional structure. In this case, the Attorney General purported to appoint a private citizen as special counsel to prosecute a former president on behalf of the United States. But I am not sure that any office for the special counsel has been established by law, as the Constitution requires, Thomas wrote. In an opinion that mirrors Trump's legal argument in his election interference case in Washington, D.C., and his classified documents hoarding case in Florida, Thomas suggested that Smith may have been unlawfully appointed. He wrote that the Constitution only allows for a limited exception for the appointment of inferior officers. Before the president or a department head can appoint any officer, however, the Constitution requires that the underlying office be established by law. The Constitution itself creates some offices, most obviously that of the president and vice president. Although the Constitution contemplates that there will be other officers of the United States whose appointments are not herein otherwise provided for, it clearly requires that those officials shall be established by law, he wrote. Thomas claimed that the federal statutes that the Attorney General uses to justify the appointment of a special counsel are not relevant. None of the statutes cited by the Attorney General appear to create an office for the special counsel, and especially not with the clarity typical of past statutes used for that purpose, he wrote. So yeah, it doesn't matter regardless whether these things are justified or not. He can't do it because he wasn't lawfully established by the council or by any council. So he can't do this anyways, and it's dead in the water automatically. Of course, we have this why this is going on. It says Kamala Harris' honeymoon continues, but no DNC bump. So the DNC did not give Kamala Harris this bump that she wanted. It didn't give her any big bump at anything at all. And guys, this is the thing. The Democrats are scared. Kamala Harris is scared. Because if they're doing all these things, trying to prevent RFK from the actual ballots, and then they're bringing on this stupid case against Donald Trump, and then there's no bump from Kamala Harris, you can tell that the Democrats are scared. They're trying everything in their power to stay in power. That's how terrified they are. Now, here's the other news that we have to talk about. We have this here. Trump says he has reached an agreement on an ABC debate with Kamala Harris and reveals the rules in a bombshell statement. The presidential debate between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris is back on and set for September 10th on ABC. The bombshell update came from the former president who said he reached an agreement with the Harris campaign for a primetime showdown in Philadelphia using the same rules of the CNN debate with President Joe Biden. And his statement on Truth Social on Tuesday suggested the impasse over whether microphones should be muted had been resolved. Trump's statement included some rules but doesn't specifically mention what is being done about the microphone muting, but the ex-president hinted he got his way and the microphones will be muted. The debate will be the first time that the two presidential nominees will share a stage. And I may believe he has something here to say. He says here, I have reached an agreement with the radical left Democrats for a debate with Kamala Harris. He lamented that Harris would not agree to a Fox News debate on September 4th to forward the ABC debate. He said that the network and his campaign are keeping that date open in case she changes her mind or flip-flops. He noted that the debate host, ABC News, is by far the nastiest and most unfair newscaster in the business. The rules will be the same as the last CNN debate, which seemed to work out well for everyone except perhaps crooked Joe Biden. The debate between Trump and Biden led to a series of disastrous events for the president that ultimately led to a pressure campaign to end his re-election bid. So yeah, everything is going back to where it was before. Nothing is changing. So therefore, this debate that he's going to have with Kamala Harris will completely destroy her. There's nothing that she can do. If anything is similar to what Joe Biden is at all, anything similar, Kamala Harris doesn't have a dream. She is going to be torched into oblivion if this is all going to be true, right? So, guys, I want you guys to know, this is just like, it's not necessarily a nothing burger, but it's definitely not something that we have to really go too crazy on, right? Because, again, this is something that they're doing because they're terrified, they're scared, they're frightened by the matter, and it's probably not even going to reach trial. It most likely won't go to trial, even still until he's after the event. So either way, it's probably going to be tossed out. This is all stupid stuff. So I don't know what to tell you guys. it will most likely be thrown out because even Claire Solomon, the Supreme Court, said that he wasn't even appointed legally. Like, Jack Smith wasn't appointed legally. So, again, he is violating things, and I think he should be put in jail, Jack Smith, because he is going behind the Supreme Court's back. This is huge. This is insane, and I don't know what else to tell people. And I guess this is what we're going to be doing with. This is what we're going to have to be fighting against for the next couple of months, because they're trying desperately to stop Trump, because Trump is actually winning the polls, and behind the scenes, the Harris knows the writing is on the wall. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted. This is algorithmic disease, the social media.